Well, we can't say we didn't belong. Canada loses the last game of the World Cup. 2-1 to Morocco. Morocco, huge win for them. They advance first in the group to the round of 16. First time in 36 years Morocco's made the round of 16. Coincidence when Canada makes the World Cup, Morocco makes the round of 16? I think not. Anyways, Morocco advances. Belgium, the surprise of the group, does not, being eliminated in the group stage. I think that officially rings in the end of their golden generation. Croatia sliding in second place. But for Canada, there's a lot of takeaways from this game, a lot of takeaways from this World Cup. And some guys were fantastic and had great World Cup performances. Some guys were kind of eh. Ironically, it was the old experienced guys that we thought we were going to have to rely on in the World Cup that really underperformed. And I think that was the big showcase, is that, like, Borjan had a couple of plays. Stephen Vittoria wasn't his usual rock at the back. Atiba Hutchinson, obviously, against Croatia wasn't great. And I think it really showed that, like, those guys who are, nearing or at the end of their careers, it's about time for them to start moving on, or Canada start thinking about the transition plan for them. The problem is that for a couple of them, we don't really have set replacements, and that's why they're still, like, in the starting 11 solidly every single game. Like, Borjan is the only goalkeeper we have playing at any real level in Europe. Like, we have a lot of interesting younger guys in MLS, but none of them really seem to be pressing to move out of MLS. Same at the back end. We have a couple interesting young guys in MLS, and also a couple interesting young guys in, like, the German 2 Bundesliga, Scott Kennedy, for example. But again, no one really pushing to replace Stephen Vittoria right off the bat. Atiba Hutchinson, I guess we have Ishmael Kone as the set replacement. So, like, that's the one position where we have really a replacement ready to go. But again, like, no one right now going into Europe. Kone probably is going to go to Europe this offseason, but, like, besides that, no one else really set in Europe ready to go. This game, a lot of just wasted balls, I think. Like, a lot of times where Canada, for either unpressured or under light pressured, let the ball go out for a throw that they really shouldn't have let it out, or too many passes that were too far ahead out for a throw. Just too many throws in the set, like the offensive first bit of the offensive half for Canada, that they just gave up to Morocco. Too many unforced turnovers that were throws to Morocco, and that was really our biggest issue. And also in the midfield, Osorio and Kay didn't really create much of anything in the midfield. It got better when Hutchinson and Kone came in, but Kay and Osorio, Kay especially, were not up to snuff for the World Cup. And I think this really showed too that just, like, MLS is not at the level required to be successful at the World Cup anywhere close. We need more guys in either top 5 European leagues or top teams in, like, European leagues 5 to 12. The guys in MLS, most of them weren't really there, and the guys who in MLS who were playing well were Larea, who is on loan from Nottingham Forest, and Alistair Johnston, who's pretty much confirmed to have a move to Celtic. So the guys who are, like, very, very top end of MLS, like, in the door, foot in the door in Europe, were the guys from MLS who were performing well. The rest of the guys from MLS were kind of iffy, if I'm fully honest. But overall, Canada, it was a decent World Cup. We didn't get a point. We didn't get a win, which I think a lot of people would have hoped for. But overall, we end up, if it was a table, actually being ahead of the 1986 World Cup squad, both -5 on goal differential, but we have 2 goals for, compared to that team 0. So it's an improvement, technically. I'm not sure. But, first World Cup in 36 years, and then we are in the next World Cup in 4 years as a host. And I think this was just a great experience for us to be able to have World Cup, get the young stars that we have on this team World Cup experience, because now we go to a World Cup where we're a co-host in 4 years. We have experience at a World Cup. 3-team groups, round of 32 is a possibility, a very strong possibility for that World Cup. So I think that's what we need to see the takeaway as, is this puts us into a position where we're not World Cup newbies with this squad when we're hosting in 4 years. So it gives us a better shot at least performing well at that World Cup. But that's Canada's World Cup. Congratulations to Morocco. Honestly, great job. I'm actually really happy for Morocco. That is a hell of a squad they've put together and a hell of a team they have. And to eliminate Belgium and be first place in this group is absolutely ginormous for Morocco. That is probably the biggest surprise so far of the tournament, maybe only eclipsed by Australia qualifying instead of Denmark. Wow, good job, Morocco. But great World Cup, Canada. And I guess we'll see this stage again in 4 years.